Hello, my loves. Hello. How's it going? I'm folding laundry. Today's been super hot. I just came from my yoga class. I'm winding down the day. Where's the other soap? Is this clean? Why is it wet? I didn't dry it completely. It doesn't smell like it's dirty. He's the partner. Ooh. Tell me what's going on with your lives. David Joroge, there is Esno, whoever, there is Balanta. What's a back blew out? I don't know what it is. Hello, James in the house, N-A-R, Nar in the house. I'm from Kenya. Good morning. Whoever's waking up at this time, we about to go sleep. Sunny, you love Kenya. Have you been to Kenya? Have you been to Kenya? Right now is almost 9. Mambo, poa sana. She sells. Yes, I'm Cuke and Kamba. I'm a mix. Milton from Mombasa and Nairobi. I'm so beautiful. Thank you, love. This is Arja. Are you just guys waking up right now? Galata, Sarah. Nice to see you, James. No, if I tell you my age, I'd have to, James, we want you alive to smell the good oxygen. Hi, Dawagia. Ooh, I'm squinting because of the light. Bosnia, Europa. You're from Europe. Hello, hello. Happy Saturday, happy Friday. James subscribed. We got a new subscriber. Why do people subscribe? I guess it's because I'm beautiful and sweet. I'm not gonna tell you how old I am. Yeah, how old do I look? But I'm not gonna tell you whether you're right or wrong. Oh, thank you, newsman. You live in Rio de Janeiro. Beautiful city of Rio. That's in Brazil, right? Rio is in Brazil. I look 37. Wrong guess. You guessed wrong. Double tap, hit the subscribe button so you get notified when we have new videos, when we have things happening. But Traumatic Bliss, if you want to learn about mental health, if you want to learn how to lose weight, how to overcome stress, depression, burnout, how to have better relationships, how to eat healthy, how to have a sexy body like this one. Okay. All right, all right. Daryl, Johnson, James Yao, Raul, Antonio's, Sanyi. Yeah. Welcome to Post-Traumatic Bliss. If you have any questions, ask me questions related to health, mental health, stuff that I could answer. If I'm not able to answer, then, you gotta go read. Right? Then you gotta have to go read on your own. On this channel, we talk about mental health. We talk about things that could really cut your time, right? So that is our life here, right? Post-traumatic bliss. Some people think I'm Ethiopian for some reason, but I'm not Ethiopian. I don't know why I always have to say this, that I am not Ethiopian. I don't even look Ethiopian. I look Kenyan. But I guess maybe some people don't know how other people look from. Ethiopians have a very distinct look. I know I get my eyes look Ethiopian, like I have eyes that Ethiopians have. But aside from my eyes, I'm not Ethiopian. Maybe my great grandmother or grandfather was Ethiopian. Like way down the line. What do you think is the connection, correlation between mental health and spiritual beliefs? That's a very good question, GD4 Baker. Wow. Um, let's talk about that. Um, the correlation between, so for me, the way I see it, right? Spirituality helps you become a more mature person, and that is good for your mental health. um, So many things that you can practice in spirituality that can help you have a beautiful life and have good mental health. For example, I'm Christian, so we read from the book of Proverbs, right? It can give you a lot of wisdom, just daily life wisdom that can protect you from being foolish, right? Which is good mental health. There are habits that, there are things that the Bible asks you, or spiritual practices that ask you to do. For example, most spiritual practices, whether it's, like Hinduism or Christianity or Islam, they tell you to take care of the body. Like they tell you, like, the body protected. Christianity says the body is the temple of God. Hinduism, they have yoga. Muslims, they do this fasting that is so good. So a lot of spiritual practices, they help you, like, have this respect for the body, which is good for mental health. Watching what you eat, exercising the body, moving, all that. Most spiritual practices help you with that. Very common sense. The Bible tells you not to do some things because they might traumatize you and give you bad mental health. For example, the Bible tells you not to kill anybody, not to be jealous of anybody. And we know that if you kill somebody, you could die of guilt, or you could, if you steal, you can feel even deep shame, stuff like that, right? Spirituality helps you build character, like a good character. It protects you from terrible emotions like hatred and jealousy. Spirituality will ask you to be kind, to love, to live a peaceful life, because if you have good spiritual teachers or a good spiritual tradition, right, they want you to be happy. Okay, I find that, like, most spiritual traditions, they want you to have a blissful, peaceful mind. So that is why they are telling you those things, to love your neighbor as you love yourself, to forgive, so you don't carry the burden of unforgiveness and the stress chemicals. So all that is, am I making sense? Yeah, I'm good. What about us dark-skinned folks? We are very beautiful. All this beauty, natural. Yeah, grace is very good at helping the body calm down, feeling calm and in harmony with life, with everything. All this, like, spirituality is powerful. First, it helps you build your character. It gives you wisdom, so that you make life choices that are going to benefit you. It warns you about behaviors that could land you into problems like promiscuity. It warns you about drug use, like being a drunkard or, utilizing drugs. It kind of warns you about all these things that you can see in modern life, that there is potential for lots of problems, right? There's a huge connection between just using common sense that comes from the Bible or other, spiritual, like lessons that they give you and good mental health. Like there is a high correlation. Yeah, people who are not spiritual, you know, they don't have a problem going out, drinking, sleeping with anybody, you know, then driving when they are drunk. Maybe they can hit somebody, kill somebody, like just these low level behaviors, right? People who are conscious and awake, right? They behave very differently. They'll stay from alcohol, from smoking. You know, they separate themselves. They just don't want to sleep with anybody. Like, and they're not out there getting infected by diseases. You know, life like that, right? Spiritual practices are very, very enlightening about life. If you have nobody to guide you through life, try getting a spiritual practice to guide you in life, right? And use it as a disciplined practice. That's what I'd say, right? So what do you feel about grace? Joshua Nada says, I love you, love you, love you too, Joshua. 731. Nice to see you. Yeah, at GT4 Baker, you know, how do you feel about that? Like, for me, I see a huge correlation between spiritual practices and a beautiful life. For example, the Bible is always keen on telling like husbands to honor and love their wives, right? And wives to love and respect their husbands. And if you do that, right? If you do that, you're going to have a beautiful, loving family. The kids are going to have good mental health because they're going to feel safe and secure in that relationship. Why? Because everybody is practicing love. Everybody is practicing love languages. You know, if you know the love languages, the 5 love languages, if you don't know, get the book, The Love Languages by Gary Chapman, and practice those in your relationships. You're going to find that if you practice love relationships, if both of you read Gary Chapman's love languages and you both know each other's love language and you both start playing with those love languages, your relationship is bound to last. Your relationship is bound to improve, right? If you know your partner likes acts of service, you know, you're going to make them some tea or, you know, help them out with something, make them some dinner, you know, help like wash the dishes in the house, you know, clean up the baby, because they like acts of services. Maybe you like personal touch, like when you're nervous you want a hug or somebody to rub your shoulder, you know, and they understand that and they start communicating those love languages. You can both have a beautiful union, mend the relationships, forgive each other. Love is a beautiful thing to practice, because the more you practice, it's a language, right? The more you practice, the better you become good at it. And when you become good at it, your relationships, they start to thrive, right? But everybody has to practice love. If you're in a relationship where you're practicing love language and they are not giving you back the love and affection that you want, you might be very, very frustrated. If you pray together, it's good. If you eat together, it's good. I mean, it's a relationship. You can do so many things together. You can work out together. You know, you raise children together. You basically are sharing a life together. So you're going to have to do a lot of things together, and pray for your relationship together, right? Pray for the things that God gives you, and thank God for the things that God provides in your relationship together. Yeah, you must invest time together to have a relationship, right? But everybody has to play their part, because you can't be in a relationship with yourself. So if you're not playing your part in that relationship, then you're not playing your part. Yeah, it's a relationship, it's a partnership. And I guess it's overwhelming to be with one person for a long time with them. That's why it's good to have friendship. I'm not married. I'm not married. Marriage is not for everybody, right? I'm always saying this. Marriage is not for everybody. And for me, it's not something that I would force to happen in my life. Marriage is not something that I would force myself. Like, hey, I'm not under anybody's time. Uh, you know, I'm not chasing the clock to get married. Like, I think a lot of people get pressure to get married because they think, oh, I'm an adult. What I need to do is get married. And I don't believe that we should get married just because we feel like, oh, the clock is ticking. You're bound to make bad decisions when you're desperate and you despair and you're going to get married because you just want to get married for the sake of getting married. Yeah, it's kind of like why? You know? I am sipping water with apple cider vinegar. Yeah, it's just basically water. So Joshua, are you married? GT4 Baker, the GT47 Baker, are you married? I do like kombucha. I love probiotics, for sure. Probiotics really affect a lot about our food cravings, right? If we are craving the wrong foods. Hi Vidi, Miyagi, shout out to Vidi, nice to see you. Shout out, thanks for the lovely flowers, you're the best. Yeah, probiotics are very good for stopping cravings, and apple cider water also. DC, Kenny Mac from DC tapping in. Nice to see nice to see you. Welcome to Post-Traumatic Bliss. We usually just talking about, you know, how we can improve our lives. You know, in our lives, what we can do to make it better. Beautiful friendships. You know, for me as a mental health coach, I would tell you, good friendships are number one. Good friendships are unmatched, right? Especially for women. I tell, like when I moved to the US, my life was very depressed because I didn't have friends. I didn't have close girlfriends. And there's something about just having your girlfriends as a girl. It's beautiful. Like, I think me having good girlfriends, I value more than having a boyfriend or a husband, just because I value those friendships more. I have more in common, you know, with girls, so I can, you know, value friendships with my girlfriends more than, you know, if I was probably married. I know it's hard to say, but it's kind of true. I've heard about drinking apple cider vinegar, but not sure what it's good for. I think it helps with your craving. It's kind of like a probiotic drink because it tastes more like kombucha. So it helps with digestion. So it has to have probiotics. How is DC? Has it been hot today in California? It was so hot, very, very hot during the day. I was struggling in my yoga class tonight. Like usually I'm okay, but today I felt like I had 5 extra pounds when I was doing yoga. It's because of the heat. Now I know now I have to start hydrating like crazy. Yeah. Are you guys, how's the weather there? Are you guys like drinking lots of water? No, I love, like this is an interactive channel. We're talking about relationships. For me, what I have come to learn about relationships is you really must understand your attachment style. Okay, I'm always advising you read that book, Attachment Theory by Amir Levine, because if you want love, you gotta understand your attachment style. Attachment styles are important so that you know whether you're an avoidant attachment style, and you can try to become, if you have an insecure attachment style, you can try to become a more secure person. Because secure people are able to have relationships with about anybody, and insecure people are not able to have relationships with other people. So if you want to meet your soulmate, we all do, if there's such a thing as a soulmate, but not everybody can make it. Not everybody can make it because of their attachment style. And it's the most respected theory when it comes to determining why some relationships last and why some relationships don't last. So if you're interested in relationships and you want to learn about the attachment theory, I do have a class. You can always take my class, okay? You will not just learn about attachment theories and relationships. You're going to learn a lot about mental health and why your childhood could be affecting your ability to find and keep love as an adult. If you are in a relationship and it's not going well, I'd say take Gary Chapman's love languages, the 5 love languages, and you can start there. Luis Lopez says, you're so beautiful, brunette. Greetings from Colombia. Louis Lopez, nice to see you all the way from Colombia. Nice, nice. Is Colombia where Shakira is from? Colombia? Okay. Yeah, as you get older though, it gets harder. Like I think people underestimate, as you get older, it gets harder to get into a relationship. One is because you're used to your own space, your own life, and I just cannot go into somebody's life and be like a fixture there. Like I want my own space decorated the way that I want. My own living space. I want to do with my space what I want. Like I want this couch or whatever, and so it becomes very, very, very difficult. I had a boyfriend, And we were thinking about moving in together, but we tried it, but it didn't work out because, like, for me, I don't have a TV, and I don't want to have a TV. And he would do things like put in a projector in the living room. And so I'm like, I don't want to have to spend all my evenings watching a movie lying down on the couch. Like, I could be doing something more resourceful, like my YouTube live, quietly interacting with people, something that's propelling me forward in life. Yeah, stuff like that. Like, it kind of interrupts with who you are. And um Vidi says a lot of people are scared to face their inner demons, or should I call it trauma? Yeah, I would say, okay, I refrain from, usually I refrain from this notion of right and wrong, right? Good and evil. Um, because I don't see enlightenment in there, like good and evil. Sometimes I just like to judge human nature as it's not their demons, and it's not like a dark shadow. It's just like they are there are personalities that we should have developed when we were younger, and we don't develop those personalities, and life can become very difficult if you come from a traumatizing family, let's say, like a family where they're not very open up or affectionate. Or I always say, if you have like a mother or a father who died, or both died, you got traumatized. If one of your parents was sick and could not provide for you, or you had to take care of them, you got traumatized when you were young. If one of your parents abandoned you, you got traumatized. If one of your parents neglected you, or both neglected you, you got traumatized. And or they didn't love you and they openly showed it to you like that way, then you got traumatized. It's so easy to traumatize a child compared to an adult, right? If you don't show up 100% for that child, whether it's for emotional support, you're not providing them with material things, you're faced with extreme poverty, that child will feel alone in the world. And it's kind of like a soldier being in the army. The way they get traumatized, that's how children get traumatized, because for kids, if they haven't developed the left side of the brain where they can communicate and articulate their emotions. So when they're neglected, the level of trauma is the same level like soldiers going into an army and getting maimed, in a very, very deep way. I don't think sometimes we take into account how bad neglecting children is. And they can turn out to be abusers, depending on how they are. Or if they work on themselves, they can face those inner demons, right? Or that trauma, and live a better life. To be a good person, you must have been nurtured to be that kind of a person. To be a loving person, you must have been nurtured with love to create that loving brain. And if that is absent because of some form of trauma, like for me, I had very wonderful parents, but they died, right? So that kind of trauma got into me. Now I had to figure out, how do I train my nervous system to feel safe, to feel calm, to be loving to myself first, because I cannot love other people if I don't love myself. You gotta retrain and rewire your brain. You gotta figure out the missing puzzles in your life. When you have trauma, you gotta figure out the missing puzzles, because it's like being given a puzzle piece and you don't even know what is missing. If you are neglected, for example, There are so many things that are missing. You don't know how to eat well. You don't probably know how to dress yourself, or you don't know how to express yourself. You don't know how to say no. You don't have know how to demand things that you want, right? Like you have this brain that you should have developed that is missing. And it's one thing to know that I feel blanks, like I have blanks in my life, but to figure out what they are, that can take a while to figure out. That is why I have my class post traumatic bliss. Like if you need it, you feel that you need it, you want to figure out some things, you know, like you can feel the gaps, you can feel the anxiety, you don't know how to find love and keep love, um, all these things. You know, right now, honestly, Joshua, I have done a lot of work, I have done a lot of healing. um, it's good that you sympathize, but to be honest, i I overcame so many things like in my childhood. So I am here to teach and coach other people that might be where I was years back, and they're looking for a way out, because sometimes you need somebody to teach you a way out, or you might be lost in that forest and it might take you years and years to find your path, waste time, waste opportunities, for you know, financial success or relationships. Like you don't want that to be holding you back when you can learn new things about the brain and how it works. So if someone were to come to you asking for help, how can they break the cycle so that it doesn't get passed down from to their future kids? What cycle? You know, what cycle are you talking about? A lot of the things that we heal with love, okay? If you can understand love is the greatest of all, you can heal. If you can love yourself, right? Most of the time, if you know the proper way to love yourself, you will know the proper way to love your children, right? And nurture them, and they will not be traumatized. I'm not saying spoil your kids. Sometimes loving your kids is holding them accountable for, you know, their actions, but is also directing them, guiding them in life with love, care, and affection. If you really want to heal, you gotta remember love is the best way to heal. We heal through love. There is no other way. We feel when you have had trauma, nobody was kind to you, nobody was nice to you. You know, we heal by now starting being kind to ourselves, honoring who we are, our mind, our mental health, saying no, creating boundaries that keep us safe, right? And when you can teach your kids those things in return, like create boundaries that keep you safe, learn to say no, like you kind of start teaching them all these things that keep them safe, that keep their nervous system calm, you're going to be there. Like be there. If somebody wasn't there for you, be there for your children. It is going to make a difference. In terms of coming from a family that wasn't affectionate and dealing with your problems alone, yeah, I would say start with like the Gary Chapman's 5 love languages is good to figure out your love language, right? Figure out what love language you have and how you feel mostly loved, right? For example, if like for me, I like to travel and see new places, and I like to give myself like small little treats, like, you know, go for a massage or do a facial, or, you know, go to the sauna. Like I show myself softness with these small things that, you know, make me feel good. um I create a safe environment for myself. That is the way I am showing myself that I love myself. I learn how to eat nutritious food that work with my body chemistry. Like that is how I show myself. I listen to things that are soothing to my nervous system, to music that's soothing to my nervous system. I am no longer interested in being around people that are not nice to me. I will literally leave a place if it's not good for me. But I'm not saying do the way that I do it. You know, calculate your risks, especially if you're living like uh, a draining work environment, you know. Figure out, you know, while you're in that environment, can I start a small business? Can I protect myself financially before I leave? Like stuff like that, right? Show yourself that. Practicing in the mirror by saying, I love you, I really, really love you, is one way to heal your mind. Your body will heal from the words that you're telling it. Like your body listens to you. Every cell in your body responds to you and your thoughts. So affirming yourself like, I love you, Monica. I will protect you. I will make good choices for you today. I am going to choose you no matter what this day. When you start telling yourself like those things that you are never given, and you start affirming them, you start changing your mind. And you do it over and over and over and over until your body starts to believe you that, hey, this person is going to go to the moon. Your nervous system starts to understand like it is safe with you. That yes, you are given a bad program, that the program that did not say I love you, but you're going to create that program in your mind that says I love me, right? And God loves me. It's always good to lean into the word of God to believe that God loves you, He's going to protect you, and you love you, right? And understanding like what self-love means. Self-love means making good decisions that serve you, right? There's a reason why, like for me, I would not join the army. Like I don't want to kill anybody just because I don't want trauma, okay? Even if that job pays, right? Because I love myself, right? I choose things that are good for me. Um, um like let me know, like are we are we getting, like are we getting, so the what the body does, the body understands programs. Just like the way a computer has softwares, our body is our nervous system creates programs. You have a program for math, for English, for music, like all these programs, they communicate using neural networks. And you can create a program that says, I love myself, right? The words that you use to yourself when you're talking to yourself, how you talk to yourself in a soothing, lovely, gentle way, tells your body that you love yourself. How you take care of your body, you work out, you eat healthy, saturated fats, you know, proteins, vitamins, you know, wholesome food. It will also make your body relax, knowing that you're getting proper nutrition. That says, I love myself. You know, when I was growing up, we did not have like proper nutrition because it's part of the trauma and the child neglect and all that, right? And I did not learn how to eat properly. And as an adult, um, as a child, first, when one of the punishments that I used to get was food getting taken away from me. And when I was going through my trauma and healing from my trauma, one time I broke down because it hit me that I'm actually deserving of proper nutrition without, and I deserved good nutrition. I deserved somebody to provide for me good nutrition without having to take my food away from me. Like as an adult, I had to go down and face that trauma of somebody taking food away from me and realize like, hey, I was deserving of proper nutrition. And I cried about it, and it's something in the shadows that I had not confronted, right? Which makes me more want to love myself when I choose good, healthy, and nutritious food, and my body understands that I love myself. I'm not just healing, I am choosing good, nutritious food for myself. And that is a signal of breaking that pattern of my old self, where I was neglected and not well nourished, and now learning about nutrition, what works for my body chemistry, how to do intermittent fasting, how to eat high protein saturated fats and all that to support my body knows that I am doing my best to support it and protect it and love it. And that's how you heal. It's practical things about your life, right? If you did not get affection when you are young, look yourself in the mirror, right? And tell yourself, I love myself. I am beautiful. I am all this, right? And I did not grow up. I grew up without parents, so nobody told me at any time that I was beautiful. Like those things I had to tell myself. Now I know I am beautiful. Like you cannot come here and like spread insecurities to me, because I have created a program in my mind that understands like, hey, I am beautiful. Like my mind understands that very well. And I get that affirmation from the Bible, from telling myself, from the choices I use, like how I dress myself, from working out to take care of my body. Like I am doing all these things, right? These actions that I've actually taken to to show myself that I love myself, right? Sometimes I'll wear makeup, sometimes I will not wear makeup, but that does not mean that I don't think I'm beautiful because I wore makeup, or like I changed my hairstyle. And because I have created a program, like I have rewired my mind, and these are the things that I show people to do in my mental health coaching class. I teach you how to change and rewire your mind, because let me tell you, the biggest thing that you will learn about mental health is very weird. That you don't see with your eyes, right? You see with your brain. It means that the way you understand life is in your brain, is in the way that you have wired your brain. Like you don't see with your eyes. Your eyes are kind of like glass, right? Is the signals, they get interpreted in the brain. So if you think about it, everything that you're seeing right here, including me, including whatever is in your room or whatever surrounding you, right? It's getting interpreted in the brain. If we messed up that part of your brain, this whole experience would not exist for you, right? So our memories, they're stored somewhere in the brain, okay? And what we think about ourselves is stored somewhere in the brain. People with Alzheimer's, they forget their whole life. Like whatever made them happy, whatever made them sad, like it's just it kind of just goes, right? And if you think about it, your trauma is just a story that you're telling yourself, right? It's just a story stored in your brain that you're telling yourself, reminding memories past, blah blah blah. In reality, it doesn't exist. It's just right there in your story. And for me, when I was healing from trauma, I did this NLP to distort like memories, to just kind of change the story, distort it. Like, hey, it's just a story. It doesn't matter how it happened, where it happened, why it happened. If it's not a good story, I can change those memories and distort them, and pretend something else happened. I can tell myself a different story at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, if telling myself a different story to make me happy makes me look like, sound like I'm a cuckoo, like I'm cuckoo, I'll do that to make myself happy, right? So part of trauma is distorting it. Like, hey, remembering the experience, like if it was traumatizing, you pretend it was funny, right? You distort that memory. Instead, now when you remember something, it's no longer traumatizing, it's funny, you know? The way you can distort a memory, because it's just a story in your head, right? Your experience is in your mind, and you can change your mind, and you have the right to change your mind. Nobody can fault you for deciding to change your mind. It's your mind. It's your it's your mind. I don't talk about my age, my darling. We don't talk about age here, because if I tell you my age at Tarmac, I'd have to kill you. Vidi, yeah, yeah, awesome, awesome, yeah. You can do NLP therapy. NLP therapy will be what will help you distort those memories and make them a little bit funny, and so they're less painful. For me, I find that healing, because if you're able to go and distort that trauma, that memory, and make it funny or whatever, it's going to work. I mean, NLP therapists, they are worth the money that you put there, because they are going to help you with NLP. What else? What else? What else? NLP helped me. Psychedelics did help me a lot. Like, sometimes this happens. I'm not saying it happens to you, but sometimes it happens. But I'll before you use psychedelics, I'm gonna caution you. Okay. Sometimes people have these stuck emotions. Like, have you ever been so traumatized that you wanna cry, but even tears cannot come out? You feel emotionally numb, like you've been locked out of your own emotional life, like you're numb. Um, when I felt that way, what helped me was psychedelics. Because I tell you, I was to the point where I'm on the verge of, like, I'm not feeling anything. Like, it's like there is no emotion there. It's just like, when that song says, I got these ice box where my heart used to be. That's how I felt about my emotions. Like, I want to cry, but there is no outlet. And psychedelics help me tap into that emotion and get it out. Like, get it out. That's why I like psychedelic, the magic mushrooms. But I can caution you, if you have bipolar, if you're on other medication, whether it's sleep medication or you're drinking alcohol, like, it's not a good thing to mix, because this thing affects your nervous system, like, very much. So you don't want to mix. And if you're going to try something like that, you want to do the microdose. Like, people are microdosing, so do the microdosing. um, Mostly illegal in the United States, legal in Oregon, legal in Oakland, California, um, legal in Europe, I think legal in Mexico. Yeah. What else? What else? What else? Um, yeah, they got the mushrooms. They have this thing called psilocybin. Psilocybin is the bluish thing you find in a magic mushroom. The psilocybin is what helps, is the medicine that really helps. It also helps with creating new neurons. It helps with neuroplasticity. There is research that shows that you can create neural pathways. Psilocybin helps with neural pathways. So it's very powerful. What else? I'm always going to recommend have good friends, because friendships that are lasting will give you good mental health. Like, it's kind of like the number one. I know a lot of people cannot be trusted, whoopsie, and that's probably why we end up being lonely. But you have to understand, like, when you come from a traumatizing family where they don't show affectionate, you may be bland and not be able to show other people affection, and because of that, you may not, you're not magnetic, like, not. I didn't get that. Could you try again? Siri. um so you may not know how to love people. That's why you have to train your brain to learn how to communicate and show love and affection to other people. You really gotta learn these things and practice them. um like, you have to rewire your brain, because that's not, like, if you're not coming from a very affectionate family, that will be a problem. Learning your love language, your attachment style, is going to help you, because if you have an insecure attachment style, that means you didn't come from an affectionate family that's providing you, that's guiding you, all that, right? You have an insecure attachment style, and you need to find somebody who has a secure attachment style. But a lot of people with a secure attachment style, they are very good at helping you become secure, but if you're not on this journey of self-improvement, they'll tire of you, right? And that's when people, like, get divorced, because, if you're not wanting to improve your game of showing affection and help and with other people, nobody's going to be in a loveless relationship, just because, like, oh, you came from a childhood where you didn't have love or affection, and you think that other people are going to wait on you till you heal and understand love and accept, like, breadcrumbs from you. Is not gonna happen, right? People don't like to be breadcrumbed when it comes to love and affection. So yeah, it's good to learn your attachment style and how it can affect your love relationships, and improve and help you and learn the languages of love and start practicing them. That way, you're able to have a chance when it comes to love, because already, when you come from a family that's not affectionate or was neglectful, you're already at a disadvantage when it comes to love, right? You're always working at a disadvantage because you did not get the program. You're not on the right program uh, that helps you thrive in relationships. Hi, hi, Baker Rashad Baker. Nice to see you here. Nice to see you. Welcome to Post-Traumatic Bliss. Yeah, you gotta be willing to learn to heal. Otherwise it doesn't just come, right? And you're lucky when you find a good coach on the internet, because the kind of men that are giving other men advice when it comes to relationship on this internet, I can tell you, is terrible. It's not based on science, it's based on emotions. I don't even know where they get, like, to, like, I don't even know where they get this information from, to be honest. I've had ridiculous things. I've had so many ridiculous things about this red pill male content, right? Very entitled people looking for love. Bro, you're not gonna get it that way. Somebody gave the best advice, say, everything you're looking in love, be that first, right? If you're looking for somebody affectionate, be affectionate first. If you're looking for somebody who is active in their lifestyle, be active in your lifestyle, right? if you're looking for somebody who is mindful of their health and their diet, then be mindful and healthy in your habits as well. Like that first, right? Don't try to look for somebody to fulfill you, um, or to show you things. You may not find it. Hi, Tim. Shout out to Tim. Nice to see you again here. Right? We're talking about love and relationships. Always advising people to read the 2 books that I know will help them find and keep love. You know, people with trauma have to be very quick at learning. People from childhood traumas, if they want to live a blissful life, they have to be very quick with learning. Like you cannot waste time. Like those things that you don't want to learn are very, very important. And if you don't learn them, they're going to keep holding you back. Some things are things that you don't know, like there's a gap, but you don't even know there's a gap. You don't know the nature of the gap. That's why I have a class. Like you really got to know that those missing pieces that you don't have are actually important pieces. You know, living in survival mode all your life means that you didn't get a chance to learn other very important things. How was today? My today was fine. I worked out, I cooked. I'm making some beans on a crock pot. Let me show you. They're cooking though. I'll probably leave them out here so that they can cook for the whole night. The beans, I have some beans here that I'm cooking. Let me show you. They're kind of like a lot of them, like different types of beans. Like, I'll be having nice beans. I'll be cooking a lot of them. Once the beans are there. Oh, I'm glad I talked about it because I need to get some meat from the fridge so that I can thaw it. I can thaw it for tomorrow. Some lamb. I'm going to mix it with the beans, and then I'll add some. I'm going to add some greens, maybe some broccoli and cauliflower. Mix them up. These days, I'ma eat healthy. I'ma eat healthy. But I'm fasting until tomorrow. I'm in fasting mode. Yeah, it's gonna be yummy when I'll thaw the lamb. So I'm going to mix it with the lamb too. Put in some ghee, make it soft, and then put some greens. It's gonna be good. How have you come to the mindset you have now? Were you hurt as a child and overcame, or just a wise person? Okay. You know, sometimes back I was talking to this doctor and he was telling me that it can be genetic. Some people can be very genetically resilient. You know, losing a parent when you're 6 years old is one hell of a thing to happen to any child or anybody, right? Because those are your most formative years and your brain is not completely developed. You know, you don't understand what's happening. Like, it's pretty traumatizing to to wake up one day and you realize I don't have my parents anymore, and I'm going to have to face the rest of my life without them, my childhood without them. You get a lot of anxiety. I have battled anxiety. Anxiety is what led me to want to study mental health, because I was like, as much as I try to explain, people don't understand the anxiety, the level of anxiety that I have. The doctors don't understand the level of anxiety I have, because they think, okay, you're going to school, you're eating, you're working. Like, they don't understand, right? And I'm like, I have a lot of anxiety. And most doctors, they don't even. I went to therapist, and this is what was kind of like, for me, mind-boggling. I went to see therapists, right? And the therapist did not explain to me things just that I needed somebody to explain to me, so that I can understand what was going on. Because anxiety comes because you don't know what's happening in your body. You don't understand why you're anxious. And is for me, when I read books and I started understanding, like, oh, if you lose one or both of your parents at a young age, you will get traumatized. If you are neglected at a young age, you will get traumatized. If one of your parents or both of them was sick when you're young, you get traumatized. You know, or they neglected you, they abused you, they didn't love you, you get traumatized, right? Why are you getting traumatized? You're getting traumatized because parents, healthy nurturing present parents who are there, they give you this individualized care, right? They give you individualized care. They know when you get sick, they're there taking care of you. They'll make you soup. If you're cold, they'll grab you a sweater. They regulate your nervous system, okay? When you're feeling scared, they're there to regulate you. But when you don't have a parent, for whatever reason, it really doesn't matter what, you don't have somebody to regulate your nervous system. So when you go to school and the teacher is mean, you don't have a parent to come home to. Maybe you have a parent, but they're never home. They are working when you come home, and you sleep, you with the anxiety. Nobody talked to you. You didn't talk to anybody because there's no individualized care, right? For me, my parents were dead, but there's a lot of kids in America who have anxiety because their parents are out there making money, and then they are divorced, so no parent knows what you're doing at any given time. They don't even know what kind of social media you are in. Like, they're not regulating you at all, right? Like, you're not getting that self-regulation. Like, I hope my therapist explained that to me, that being without a parent who is helping you, or an adult that really cares about you, is really difficult for a child. It's like being in a war zone all by yourself, and you're like 3 or 6 years old, right? um, People don't explain that to you. It's your nervous system, it's highly dysregulated. Jokes say, I suffer from PTSD. What happened? Like, did you go, was it from a childhood, or was it from an experience in a relationship that traumatized you? Like, there's a lot. But what really happens is your nervous system is not well regulated, right? It's not very well regulated. That's why when you have good friendships, where when you invest in a good loving relationship, right, somebody who understands you, somebody who wants to soothe you, whether it's even giving you a hug, right, or you will see couples that love each other, they regulate each other. Somebody will be rubbing their hand, or their partner will rub their leg, or they'll put a hand over their shoulder. You see that with loving couples. Like, I see that with a lot of Meghan and Harry. They'll be putting their hands on each other's waist, kind of like feeling each other, regulating one another, right? The nervous system needs kind of, and that's what parents do, right? They hug you, they comfort you, they do all these things. They're trying to regulate you. When you have PTSD, you may not have somebody, right? like right now is, you see, I hope like dog star, you're it making sense, right? Your wife died from cancer, right? Somebody very affectionate, like somebody very close to you, right? and and that can make you end up feeling lonely, afraid to fall in love with somebody else. But it's better to it's better to look for love than to give it. Or even sometimes I tell people you can get a pet, right? If love is difficult for you, you can also get a pet. Pets love you, you know, like dogs love you, cats, they still, you are their human, they're not your cat, but they'll be there, right? Sometimes they want a cuddle, sometimes they don't want a cuddle. Cats are very weird, right? Dogs most likely will want a cuddle, like if you're nice to the dog, right? If your dog doesn't want to be near you, it's because you're mean. But anyway, you want to regulate your emotions. What's happening is the emotional level. That's what's traumatizing. Doug, you can also use what do you call it? NLP therapy. You can use NLP therapy maybe to distort those traumatizing memories. Maybe when you are going through the whole cancer experience, that can be very traumatizing. I always say, you know, you can, with NLP, right? It will not change the fact that, you know, maybe your wife suffered and you suffered through the whole cancer experience, right? It does not change what happened. But the way you experience and remember those memories, they are distorted. They are distorted to make them less painful. Um, but it's also work that you work with your NLP to lessen the trauma of that memory. You know, for me, when my mom died, I saw her like, even before rigor mortis had kicked in, right? I saw her body and it was traumatizing. And one of the things that NLP made me do, right? Instead of like just seeing her body laying there helpless and me crying, they were like, okay, imagine something. And I would imagine flowers and bees surrounding her body, and I would imagine like these beautiful things happening, her soul going into the realms of the spiritual realms. And instead of just seeing a dead body in my mind, right, I start seeing all these like bees taking her soul, flowers rejoicing she's going to heaven. And that's the memory right now that I have, right? The memory is not traumatizing. Doesn't change the fact that my mom died, right? But the way I experience it, totally different from the way it was before, right? But I worked with an NLP therapist to kind of distort like my trauma past. And that is why I'm able to talk about these things without breaking down, without, you know, kind of like all that. So that helped. I always say psychedelics helped me a lot with kind of like I had like this numbness about my emotions, like you couldn't get to my soul, like I couldn't get to my own, right? But NLP helped me. Reading the Bible helped me. Um, the Bible helped me understand how I had let my pain determine a lot of my life. And when you let pain determine your life, you will get into all these things. You will get into a relationship that you didn't really want to. You're going to get into drinking. Like you're going, if you let pain determine your life, you're going to make bad choices in your life, right? And when I was back reading the Bible, I started seeing, oh, like I was so angry with God, like for me, like I was angry that, oh, like any other like Christian who's not very strong in their faith, I didn't understand like life is the way that life is. the Bible is there to help you and guide you. It's just the way that the book is there to guide you. It's not there to guarantee that life is not gonna life or bad things are not gonna happen. um it's just it's just there to help you, like even when bad things to happen, that you don't make it worse for yourself. You don't despair and then lose yourself in the pain, right? Like even when you're in trauma, you don't lose yourself in the trauma, right? It's there to warn you that, hey, you don't want to go down that road of negative emotions, because negative emotions are going to affect your nervous system and they are going to rewire your nervous system. You can choose your nervous system to be rewired by positive emotions, or you can choose it to be wired by frustration and bitterness and anger, shame, or guilt. You can decide how it's going to be. It's never an easy choice, but you gotta choose the right choice for your mental health. Um, and I started learning these things, and for me, that's when it started making sense. A lot of people on the internet, they kind of understand it, but it just sounds a lot like mumbo jumbo if you don't have somebody to kind of break it down to you, like, hey, there is the Bible. But a lot of Christian things, like, hey, if I pray and I believe in God and I do the right things, nothing bad will happen to you. That's not a guarantee. The real strong Christians understand, like, when things happen and bad things may happen in life, I am not going to let them shake and break me. I'm not going to let them shape me into the person that I'm going to become, right? In a negative way. You know, you can, for example, your wife can die of cancer, and then you can understand when other people are suffering from cancer, you know, or their families are suffering from that. You can be there to offer them support, maybe cook them a meal, maybe visit them. Like, you let that experience shape you in a good way, right? Make you stronger, rewire you to become a positive person. Not that your pain is irrelevant, right? I always say, like, pain has a lot to do with who we become, but that's why for me I used NLP, because I didn't want to live with the pain. Like, why live with the pain of a negative memory when I can distort it? Yeah, crying is very therapeutic. One of the reasons why I did NLP is because I wasn't able to cry. Some you can get to that level of trauma where, like, there are no tears. You know, tears make you beautiful. Like, and when you're not able to cry, I mean, I am so glad that I don't cry a lot. Like, I mean, I go through difficult things in life, but I am so glad that I don't have lots of sad things to cry about. But when I couldn't cry, that was terrible for me, because I'm so far gone into trauma that I'm not even able to cry. And I wanted to feel, I felt like a monster somehow. Like, I couldn't not cry. Like, I'm not able to access my pain to cry about it. But NLP helped me, but psychedelics really, really helped me. Yeah. Two things that helped me, NLP and psychedelics. I also read the Bible, and now I understand, like, God is not going to prevent bad things from happening in my life, right? But I cannot allow the bad things that happen in my life to shape how I think about life, to make me not become a positive person, because that's when negativity and evil wins. And you don't want negativity and evil to win in your life. That's what the Bible is usually trying to teach us, right? Don't let negativity and bad things in life make you despair. right? The Bible is constantly telling you, do not let that mind win. Do not let the mind that is run by negative emotions become the default. Do not let it, because it brings anxiety, it brings sickness, it brings high blood pressure, it brings all these things, right? Do not let it win. You know, if you can do NLP, do NLP. If you have to go to therapy, do therapy. If you need to change your diet, change your diet. If you want to work out, sometimes working out is really good for PTSD. Work the hell out. Like, work out, like go for 12-mile run, okay? Like, work out, like seriously burn those ketones, whatever it is. Just win. Win, win, win. I know. You guys, let me know what you're thinking about whatever I'm saying, if it's making sense, if this is something you've heard from other people, if I'm explaining it differently. Give me feedback. I'm always wanting to know how my coaching is impacting other people, because feedback is really good, for me to know how you're receiving it. And if you have questions, um, I want to clarify things, maybe something you didn't understand. I do share sometimes my story, and the reason I share my story is because maybe you might find similarities in the way I healed. But I want to tell you, do not let this mumbo jumbo on the internet try to glamorize healing and make it look sexy, because that's what they do, right? They try to make healing look sexy and glamorous. I want you to understand, you're trying to heal your nervous system, right? It's your nervous system is dysregulated, and we are trying to heal the nervous system. It is a disease of the PTSD, anxiety, depression. This is a disease of the nervous system, the entire nervous system. And when you realize your nervous system affects everything in your life, you literally cannot wake up and breathe without your nervous system, right? You cannot walk without your nervous system. You cannot say two words without a nervous system. Your nervous system is the system that controls everything in your body. So if it's out of whack, everything in your life is misaligned, right? If it's not, everything else goes south, right? You don't want that. You want to get your nervous system right. And there are behaviors that you can do to train your nervous system to stay in balance, to feel safe, to feel calm, right? I always say, you know, like good friendships, great. Working out, great. Healthy, nutritious food, stay away from the carbs, stay away, eat a good healthy meal with butter, with sardines, with like healthy meal, right? With beans, with a lot of fats, like good fats, right? Eat one that makes your cells think like they're not in survival mode. That you help your nervous system to feel safe and calm when it's well nourished. A lot of the food that we are eating here in America is food that keeps you in a survival mode, because it doesn't matter how much pizza you eat, your cells will still be starving because they don't have the good nutrients that they need, right? And when you change your diet, you can change your entire life. Nutrition is key. Friendships, like good friendships, are key, right? Having a purpose in life, like something that you do that has meaning, that helps other people. Find something. For me, I like mental health. I am passionate about explaining mental health to people for free. And I have classes that if you want to want to go to the next level still, I created those classes for you, because I know how challenging it is to heal from anxiety, from depression. um, a lot of people don't have success in it. Even the medication that they're giving you, is not good medication, and a lot of people don't even understand. Like, you go to the doctor, the medicine that they are giving you is not even good medication, because this is something that you really have to work about your nervous system. I try to dwell on something like gardening, reading the Bible as well. PTSD is an attack from an evil spirit. The Bible says, "Smite yourselves, submit yourselves to God, and the devil will flee you." The way I see it is, I do like the humor way that Christianity takes, like, you know, Christianity calls every force that's not working for them the devil, right? Which is easy to understand. Like, hey, it's the devil. But what I like to see it, I like to see it as the nervous system. Like, look, when you're gardening or reading the Bible, what are you doing? You're regulating your nervous system. You know, you're training your nervous system like a joyful habit. You're reassuring it with the word of God. You are calming your nervous system, you're nurturing it. And all you need to do to rewire your brain is to do so many, you know, to continuously, consistently do those habits that train your brain to be calm. I always say, like, singing is very good at rewiring your brain. Is the best activity, you know, top there. It opens up your lungs, it opens up parts of your body that other activities don't even light up in your brain. You know, it makes you happy. Just a lovely thing, like singing, gardening. You interact with nature, right? It brings in all these beautiful like feelings when you're gardening and nurturing something, taking care of something, right? It you know, it makes you be somebody who is creative, somebody who is in working together with God in bringing out this beautiful, right? All of a sudden, these activities, they're shaping you, and they're making, you're rewiring your brain. Remember, you can change your brain at any given age, right? Now, these activities, they're bringing positivity, they're bringing lightheartedness, they're bringing love. And this is how you want to train your brain, right? This is what I call wired happiness. Actually, this channel, I wanted to call it Wired Happiness. I had called it Wired Happiness, then I called it Post-Traumatic Bliss, because you can retrain your brain. Hi Taha in the house, shout out. Salam alaikum, shalom to you. In the name of Allah, most gracious, God is good all the time. Yeah, I don't remember last slice of pizza, Tim. Were you eating pizza when? Yeah, so uh, just being aware that you're changing your brain, right? And the more positive things that you do in your life, the more positive you're shaping your brain. You're shaping and creating a new mind by doing positive things. If you really have deep trauma, I always say do NLP, do psychedelics, you know, always be around like nice people with good vibes. I mean, like a lot of Black people, we know this, right? We know about good vibes and bad vibes. Be around those good people and spend your life with people with a good vibe, people with a higher vibration. Yeah, just cool, nice people. Sometimes I feel like the world has lost those cool, nice people. Everybody is kind of standoffish, mean, like they're gaining anything from that, right? Um, don't choose those people. Choose people who are easy on your nervous system. Choose people who are easy on your nervous system. Choose activities that are good on your nervous system. Okay, you're rewiring your brain. Okay, you're rewiring your brain. You're renewing, right? The Bible called it renewing of the mind, right? It's a biblical thing, right? People know that. Like, you're rewiring it. Your brain is plastic. and your brain can be rewired and molded at any time in your life, right? It doesn't matter whether you're male or female, you're tall, you're short, you're black, you're blue, like it doesn't matter, right? Your brain is plastic. At any age, you can choose happiness and choose activities that drive that brain to be happy. Uh, if you have memories that are distorted, like painful, distort those memories, like NLP, right? Um, there's so many ways that you can learn to rewire your brain. If you want to dive deep, right? I have a class. I always say, hey, I have a class. I can always help. Vibes are a must. Team says vibes are a must, but we don't understand, like, vibes are rewiring our brain, right? They're protecting you from high blood pressure. They're protecting your heart, you know. They might seem like it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal. And when coming from trauma, or environments where we were always afraid, you know, you don't realize how important that is. Like, you don't actually realize, hey, happiness is very primal. Like, it's good to just feel safe and happy, um, and be in a relationship with people that are not traumatizing you, like having your own space, feeling like, oh my God, I can relax. Like, I can be happy. um, all these things are important. Like, people hate being in relationships where they feel like they are walking on eggshells, like they cannot express themselves, they cannot do things that they want. All these things are important and they are nurturing. And yeah, and I always say, don't be that person where people feel like they have to walk on eggshells around you. For me, I'm very good at, like, just erasing people out of my life completely. Like, hey, you're giving me headaches. You want me to have a headache because of you. I'm not even going to shed a tear or waste one night, sleepless night, because of somebody, because I cannot. I will not. That's how I have come to protect my mental health. And that's why I teach people. I'm a coach. I will teach you, like, hey, if it's somebody putting you on eggshells, leave them. You don't have to walk on eggshells for anybody, right? Even for love, no walking on eggshells. Leave people, so that if you have to walk on eggshells, leave them alone, okay? Or they can live your life. Either way, you deserve to be free and happy. Okay? You deserve to be free and happy. No walking on eggshells for anybody. Live free. God wants you to live free. Even Christ came to die for you so that you can live free. Live free. Don't walk on eggshells for anybody. The gospel is very good at helping you get, like, wisdom in life. Like, hey, we want to live free, we are living free. You want a loving relationship, then bring love, okay? Don't bring anxiety in my life. You know, you gotta be you gotta choose happiness, you gotta choose life. G-Man, I love to live free, right? G-Man, me too, right? We love freedom. Everybody wants freedom. Don't let people make you feel like, hey, you gotta walk on eggshells. We don't have time for this. We live free. We were born free. If we were not born free, Christ died for us, so we are born free. Either way, freedom is where it's at. Don't let people make you live on eggshells. Yes. Yeah, love can, you can love somebody and be very happy with them, and without having to have any physical affection or physical desires with them, right? You can just, like, have good vibes with somebody, right? Just like that. Just good vibes, nothing more, nothing less. Um yeah, just don't let people waste your life. Live free. Like, for me, I'm not going to come here and, like, for me, when people ask me, like, hey, why are you not married, why are you not having kids, like, I'm not going to pretend to love somebody and have kids with them. Like, I'm not going to pretend, right? Like, if I don't love you, then I don't love you. Like, I don't like you, I don't like you. And when I say I don't like somebody, is I don't like their nervous system. I don't like how they make me feel. I don't like how I feel when I'm around them, right? I'm not gonna marry you. I'm not gonna have your kids. Like, I'd rather be by myself. I make myself happy. I choose things like, like gardening, like going on social media and talking about mental health. Like, I choose these activities because I love them, right? And they bring me joy. I'm not gonna waste time with somebody who, like, they don't want to talk about growth things. They don't want to build a business. They don't want to build a life. Like, they don't want nothing. Like, I'm like, no, no, no. Jimmy said, I'm so single. I'm so happy to be, right? Walking on eggshells with anybody. And I'm not saying relationships are not good. Relationships are good. You can have somebody who gives you a hug when you're nervous, somebody who makes you a warm cup of tea, like somebody who, can take you to a doctor's appointment. You can do your taxes together. You can visit things together. If you're looking for work, you can do that together. Like, somebody who is involved in your life, great. But, sometimes it's not worth it. Humans are not meant to be single and lonely. I always say that, but you're also not meant to be in an abusive relationship, right? It's better to be alone. Even Jesus was alone, and he used to go and meditate alone in peace. You can be happy. Monks, they meditate and they're peaceful, joyful alone. When you're not able to live by yourself, happily by yourself, you have a problem. You do have a problem, because if if you being by yourself, you default to negativity, then you're kind of like somebody who drains other people's energy. Like, you're kind of like a vampire that's there to suck other people's life force, right? You go learn how to live peacefully by yourself. You should be able to live by yourself. You should be able to find peace within yourself by yourself. That said, it's nice to have people that make you laugh. It's nice to have people that tell you things. It's nice to have company, but not the miserable kind, right? You gotta figure out who your tribe is. Yeah, that's right. If you do love someone, your relationship won't be fruitful. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, happiness, long suffering, etc. And when they say long suffering, they're meaning resilience, right? It's not like, oh, I'm going to be around you and you're going to make me walk on eggshells. We're not suffering that kind of a love. Long suffering is kind of resilience, kind of like, you're not the person who just quits, somebody who, it's kind of like when you have a project, right? Just because it's not going well, you don't just keep quitting, right? You have that resilience, that stamina, that consistency. When it's something good, right? You have the consistency and the patience. Yeah, being alone is not, it's not a bad thing, right? Some people do find joy being by themselves, right? Like, there are people who are introverts. They find more energy when they are by themselves. When they are invited to a party, they're like, okay, I'm gonna go. But a lot of people, they think, oh, because they're in a party, they're having like the time of their life. But after they have that party and they go home, they don't have anybody like they really talk to, or somebody who understands them. Like, yes, like for me, I live by myself, but guess what? I have friendships, people that I can call and we can chat for even 1 hour, and we are going through life, health, relationships, whatever, right? I have those kinds of friendships, but I am a single person. You know, there's a difference. There's a difference. Um, like, are you able to make friendships, like genuine friendships? Or is this something that you can struggle? Like, I struggle making friendships with my neighbors, I can tell you for sure. Um, but I have friends that I connect with, right? Uh, all that. Taha in the house. Yeah, what we want is we want to cultivate meaningful relationships, meaningful friendships. At the end of the day, like, that's what really matters. Meaningful. You may have like two good friends that will last you a lifetime. You're very lucky, right? Um, you can have like a spouse, but they give you heartbreaks and heartache. You can be very unlucky to spend your life with somebody that makes you miserable instead of making you happy. Choose happiness, okay? And to choose happiness. Because happiness is good mental health, and mental health is everything. I always tell people mental health is number one. Choose people who regulate you. When you understand your nervous system, yeah, meaningful relationships. Choose people who regulate you in a positive way, not people who dysregulate your nervous system. Very, very important. This is why I talk about post-traumatic bliss, because it's about understanding that and making the switch, right? Um, it's about understanding that once you get that, it becomes so easy. It's late here. Take care. Very, very nice chatting with you. Dogstar, the Dogstar channel. Nice chatting with you today. Yes, Taha says choose happiness. Choose happiness. Choose a happy nervous system, right? Something that regulates you in a positive way. You know, yeah. I'll enjoy my beans once they are like, I mean, they'll have like 10 more hours boiling. I'll leave them boiling at night when I go to sleep. So, yeah. And they'll probably have like another 10 hours for them to boil, and then I have another 4 hours to actually finish cooking them. So I might probably end up eating them on Sunday or Monday. I know of the people who know the what. That sentence is not complete, team. That sentence is not complete. You know, so anyway, I always love seeing you guys here on this post-traumatic bliss, where we talk about mental health and we stay persistent and consistent. I like doing this consistently because the more you're consistent, the more we form a consistent, you know, channel where people talk about mental health, people are open about mental health, all that good stuff, right? You know, and when you know about mental health, if you realize, hey, I was neglected when I was young, you don't do that to your children. You don't do that to your spouse. You're there for them. Or you have cornbread with them. You got me think. I got you thinking of making a part of them. See, this is how we spread energy about eating healthy, being vibrant. You know, we spread ideas. I know people who know that they are safe when I'm around. Isn't that beautiful? That is super beautiful. Like, your nervous system is safe to be around people. Like, it's so important that people don't feel attacked when you're around them. Like people have, and you will notice that people, if you want to be magnetic, people need to feel safe around you. A lot of people think that you become magnetic because, oh, you have all this money, all this energy and all that. At the very, very most important thing, people, their nervous system wants to feel safe. Nobody wants to have a nervous system that is in survival mode, right? People want to feel safe. So how do we make people feel safe? We don't criticize them. We, like, if you think about your therapist never judges you. Even if you tell them that you killed somebody, they ever positive, because they know the moment that they criticize and judge you, you will not be able to open up, because you will not be feeling safe. And people just, it's so many things. Like they notice that boys who have a mother with a sweet voice, they outperform their peers in school. Can you understand how deeply having a safe, feeling safe in our nervous system can affect our mental health, even our performance at work, at school? Time and time again, they see that boys who have a mother who has a sweet voice, they do better than their peers in school. That's why I say regulating your nervous system, feeling safe, being in environments where you feel safe. You never know the amount of mental benefits that that can give you. Just having a girlfriend with a sweet voice can really, really, really affect your mental health. And it's just something like that small, right? Somebody who has a soothing, sweet voice, or somebody who gives you a hug, or notices you're feeling nervous, and they kind of like, kind of soothe you. People who naturally love you, they will do those things to you. But people who hate your guts, they don't do those things to you. And this is why learning about mental health and the nervous system is so important, because now you get to know these things and you get to see them in life, and then you get to figure out, what kind of a person do I want to become? Do I want to be the person that people feel safe around? People feel blessed when they're around, like all this, right? It's nice, that team, that people feel safe around you. It's a very good quality. Very, very good quality. We're going to end here. May you be happy and live with a joyful heart. May you be safe and protected from all sorts of inner and outer harm. And may you be healthy and strong and live with a body that gives you energy. I love you. God bless you. God loves you. Take care. Have a good night or good morning. Wherever you are on this planet, this channel, I have people from all over the world. So I am so grateful and thankful for all of you. I mean, I get people from Australia, from India, from Brazil. I love you all. You guys are amazing. When I started this channel, I never thought it's going to be like an international channel. But it is an international channel. I have people from Africa, from everywhere. So I am so, so happy that you guys tune in and you guys actually participate in mental health. We are building a community of people who are going to be self-aware about mental health, because if I've gone through post-traumatic trauma and I healed, and now I'm living in post-traumatic bliss, so can everybody else who is getting traumatized this minute. They will come in the future, they will meet this channel, because you made this channel possible for them, right? We are here creating that community so that there are kids right now who will need this channel. There are kids in Israel, in Gaza, there are kids in Ukraine, in Russia, places, South Sudan, places people are getting traumatized all over the world, right? When we, Proco by Dunk in the house, how you're here. Nice to see you again. Yeah, there are people out there who will need this channel in the future. I'm telling you 100%. And I don't take it for granted that this channel has people from all over the world. Like you guys see it. People come, they say, I'm from Australia, I'm from Brazil, I subscribed. And I'm like, wow, you know, some time back, I was like, nobody's subscribing to this channel. And all of a sudden, I'm like, everybody from all over the world is joining into this channel. And there's a reason. I believe God wants to help me spread awareness to mental health, that people can heal. You know, you can renew your mind, right? You can renew your mind at any age. You know, even if, you know, something sounds crazy, but even if you didn't come from a super loving family, you can still learn how you can still learn love languages, right? And we talk about them here. Yeah. So let me know. Proco, you late today because I'm just closing this channel today. Unless you guys want to talk about one last topic, because unless you want to talk about something, we've been talking about relationships here. Proco, has anything sweet changed? Let's just talk about you for a little bit, because last time we were talking about relationships, and has anything changed in your perspective since we talked about the relationships last week? Did you buy the book Attachment Theory? Did you buy the book Love Languages by Gary Chapman? Did you do all that? I mean, we talked about a lot about relationships. Did you take a step towards helping yourself? This is self-help at the finest. Maybe you're gone already. Let me know. I always like feedback to see how people are, how you're progressing. Okay. You're saying, yeah, it's very important to protect ourselves from, and our families and friends, in this spiritual warfare of division and deception. Yeah, you gotta protect your mind from being tricked by the enemy, right? The word of God says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you get tricked by politicians to hate your neighbor, you get tricked by the enemy to corrode your soul and your heart with hate, is only going to affect you. You know, you hate people, you will get high blood pressure, you will get a stroke, you will not be able to sleep, you will not be able to digest your food. You know, your enemies will thrive when you're hating them, because God says love your neighbor as you love yourself. If you don't follow God, you become an enemy of God. And if you become an enemy of God, you can't pay me enough money to hate people, okay? I don't want that spirit. I want to live in happiness. That's why there are things that I don't watch, like their channels I will not watch. Like, I'll be on YouTube, but their stories I will not watch. Like, I don't want to know. I want to protect my mind. At this time, I just want to protect my mind, because it's that important, right? It's super important for me that I stay relaxed and happy and calm, and I don't entertain anything that's going to throw me out of that balance. I just cannot anymore. I will not give the devil the chance, like Proco says, right? I will not give the devil the chance to bring division and to deceive me into hating other people. There are people who are going to go into like this war with Iran. They're going to kill people. They're going to come back here traumatized, with trauma, with memories that are so negative, they will not they'll be trying so hard to escape them. And mostly they're going to be targeting young people who don't understand that they are about to fuck up their mental health. And they're going to sign up. They're going to be deceived to sign up because they'll be told, oh, you're fighting for your country. And you're fighting for a country that's greedy, that's just looking to ruin other people so that politicians and the elite can gain access to oil and resources from the Middle East. That's what you're fighting for. But they don't care whether this impacts your mental health. They don't care whether you lose your life. You know, you are the sacrifice that they will make to get money. Don't be deceived. Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here. Ever this day be outside, to light, to guard, to rule, to guide. Amen. Right? They will be deceived by this, like, but, you know, if that's why I feel like mental health will be very important in the future. Like, if you go to war and you kill somebody, that stays in your memory, right? Unless for some reason, like, you don't want to create those memories. You don't want to create these memories. It's better for us to preach peace over war, right? And that's when you know a bad leader causes war. A bad leader like Donald Trump, he brings in chaos and war. And young people who have to go to his war that he has brought about for no good reason, somebody is going to lose their father. Somebody is going to lose a parent over nonsense, right? David says, one thing about military life, once you're out of service, you're on your own. You're on your own, and all the mental health trauma that they have caused you, you're on your own. And when you have that deep trauma, you're not able to get a job, like a regular job, like everybody else. You have a lot of trauma. Your mental health is not okay. They don't care about you. They don't. It's so sad, but they don't. Um, don't be deceived by the enemy. Don't let them deceive your children because they're now starting to advertise and making the army look like it's a sexy thing to join. You're protecting your country. No, they are calling you the sacrifice. They are calling you the sacrifice. I mean, they are calling your mental health the sacrifice for that needs to be made so that the elites can get oil from other countries and destabilize other nations. You will be the sacrifice. They don't care about your mental health. They just want people to come and make sacrifices for them because this is how the rich think, that poor people can make sacrifices on their life, on their mental health, because of an idea that they preach to them about, oh, love for your country, oh, love, salute the flag, oh, you get indoctrinated in all this bullshit. Read the Bible. Do not be deceived by the enemy. Like, your own enemy is deceiving you to go fight for them, and they don't care about you. Young people need wisdom more than ever. And I don't know who's gonna give it to them. You are the sacrifice. The elites, they're sacrificing you. These big oil companies, they need people to go and sacrifice, right? Yep, they need people to go sacrifice their lives for them. It's people who need to sacrifice their mental health for them, right? And once they die, the president will come and make a speech like 5 minutes. He will get into Air Force One and he will go have dinner with probably some underage girls that, you know, because that's what they like. And life continues. Right? That's the America that you're going to sacrifice for. So sad. So sad. Get a quiet life. Go out there, live a quiet life with your wife and your kids. Make some rice, make some beans, eat healthy, have fun, laugh, cry, do whatever you have to do. Don't let anybody come and take your happiness away from you. Okay? Guard it. The Bible says, above all things, guard your heart. If you're wise, right, you guard your happiness, you guard your peace of mind, you guard your sanity, right? If you're wise, you do those things for yourself. You don't let the enemy come and make sacrifices out of your happiness, out of your heart, out of your... Even Tim is saying the world is confused. The world is confused, though. Let them, they'll figure it out. I've been through enough trauma. I don't want anybody traumatizing me. I had to figure out my mental health so that I can protect it. I'm not going to nobody's war. The same way I would not I would not sacrifice my mental health by getting married. You know, it's really bad for women. Marriage can be very, very bad for women. You know, married women get HIV because of their cheating husbands. You know, imagine somebody, you are married to somebody, they are going out with anybody out there, and then they're bringing diseases to you. Like, I don't want to sacrifice, and I don't want to be traumatized. And I'm not gonna sacrifice. I will guard my heart. Guard your heart. Guard your heart above all things, right? Guard your heart. Guard your mental health. Live in post-traumatic bliss. Choose bliss. Choose to rewire your mind into goodness, into happiness, okay? And learn what it is. Like, hey, if you don't know how to protect your mental health in this day and age, it's going to be tricky. Okay, like for example, a lot of people who are well-willing, they want to have good mental health. Do you know what they do? They feel like they're depressed or something happens. They go to their therapist or their psychiatrist. They give them these antidepressants. They give them sleeping medication. They give them drugs for appetite. And this messes up their nervous system, dysregulates them completely, right? People have committed suicide because of the effects of this medication. That is why I say you gotta understand also your environment and the things in the environment that are causing poor mental health. You have to be aware, like, hey, these sleeping medications, terrible for you, right? This these antidepressants, terrible for you. Like, you gotta understand, like, hey, some of these things that people are even giving you, be wary of them. That's why I say, you know, be very old school. Don't be quick to jump to new vaccines. Don't be quick to jump to new medication. Be old school, okay? Like, when you are young, you ate a lot of crap and you're still here. You build your immunity, right? The old school way, right? You can build your resilience. You can put your mental health together by, you know, good positive friendships. Very good one works. Good food works. Exercise works. Like, everything that I'm telling you is better than those medications that your doctor is going to prescribe to you. 1000%, right? 1000%, right? Don't be fooled. It's going to be more important to pray, as there are cultists doing rituals to harm the masses. And those cultists, they cannot, like, if you understand mental health, right? You will be able to protect yourself. Like, if you can understand mental health, you will be able to protect yourself. Let me tell you, you can pray and pray and pray. But if you don't want to understand mental health, you may not be able to protect yourself. That's the crux of the situation, right? If you don't understand, like, whatever you're listening to, your ears are a gateway to wiring your mind and programming your mind. That's a gateway. Whatever you are watching, right? That's a gateway. Touch is a gateway, right? Our taste, whatever you're eating, is a gateway. A lot of these companies are programming your taste buds so that you can keep eating crap, right? They're programming you through food, through all these like juices and sodas that people take and are addicted to. A lot of people are not thinking that smell, right? Smell creates memory, right? And like a lot of people don't understand these things. Even smell is a gateway, touch is a gateway. And once you understand, like, all this is energy, right? All this is energy programming your mind, because energy is everything. You will not be able to protect yourself if you're not able to understand those things and how they work, right? um, it doesn't matter how much you pray and you go and you eat the wrong kind of food over and over and over and over, right? And then you binge watch TV, and they advertise all these medication and you start taking them, or they advertise alcohol and you start taking them. Like, if you're not sensitive to these things, you will not be able to protect yourself, right? Like, you cannot separate mental health and spiritual health, right? And this is what I keep trying to tell you guys. Like, you cannot, mental health is number one. You cannot separate uh, like spirituality and good mental health, right? You cannot sacrifice character and morality and behavior. All these things are tied together. There is no separating anything, right? There is no compartmentalization. If you're compartmentalizing mental health and spiritual and everything, like you're seeing them as small little boxes, you're doing it the wrong way. It's one whole. It's like an apple. It has seeds, it has the skin, it has everything, the white part, right? It's all one, right? Everything is one, is all related, it's one. There is no separating anything, right? um like the food you eat, what you're listening to, what you're watching, the kind of relationships you're having, all these things are discussed in every spiritual life, right? Like, they are not separate at all, right? Your decisions and your actions, you are like, there is no spiritual life out there. You are the spirit. Your actions, what you do, you are the life itself, right? So there is no like other entity there, like, oh, your spiritual life, your mental life, your, no, like it's everything, right? It's you, the way you act, your nervous system, everything is all going to be one, right? I don't understand. Sometimes I see even Christians, they are compartmentalizing all these things, right? No, there's a reason the Bible tells you, like, when you're married, you're one, right? Because you cannot separate your mental health, again, when you're married with somebody and their mental health, because their choices affect your choices the same way, like your spiritual life affects the choices you make about your health, or the choices you make about the kind of work you're going to take, or the choices about whether you're going to drink or smoke, or you're going to pray instead of, you know, when you feel tired or anxious, are you going to take alcohol, or are you going to pray, or are you going to say words of affirmations? Like, all this positive energy that you're choosing, when you choose to pray, you're choosing to use your words, right, to affirm something positive in your life, right? you're choosing to do that, like to use your words, right? To speak blessings upon your life. You're soothing yourself, you're soothing your nervous system, but it's also spiritual because it's a positive action. In a spiritual point, it's positive action, and you have chosen that positive action over a negative action like drinking, or or going about being a promiscuous person, or you have made a spiritual decision to pray or to exercise, or to you know or to call a friend when you're in doubt, right? Or to seek good counsel. All these things are things in the Bible that tell you have good friends, seek good counsel, pray, do all these things, right? Like, but I want you to be aware why you're making those decisions, because you can train your nervous system to despair, or you can teach your nervous system to have faith and to calm itself, right? You're the one reshaping and renewing your own mind, and you're the one rewiring your nervous system. Um, uh, and it's good to be aware of this, right? Like, your choices are shaping your brain and changing it over and over, right? um, if you pray, it's a good way to regulate yourself compared to drinking, right? If you call a friend, it's also a good way to regulate yourself if you want good counsel. You can make choices in your life, right? You can move to a different place. All these things could be places that you can find healing. I know. Let's leave him alone. If I get another one of troll-like behavior, I usually block them. I don't like trolls. Anyway, let's end here tonight. It's getting late. It's 10:30 here in California. It's night. Let me sleep, wake up tomorrow. Hopefully my beans will be all ready so that I'm going to put some lamb in them and some ghee, and I'll probably put some greens. It's gonna be yummy. Yeah, I love you all. Thanks for tuning in, and I am so happy that you prioritize your mental health. See you on the next live, David and Procom. Love you team. So nice to see you guys on this live. Let's chat another time, maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday. Good night. Thank you, Raymark. Good night. It's 6 a.m. in Liverpool. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Have a beautiful Saturday. Bye.